just slide. I know you are fond of sliding video once those videos appear before you. This video is about to change your life. This is day 3 of the 30 days learning challenge, and this is the right place to be at the moment. So if you have not seen day 1 and day 2, go check those videos out for yourself. See you right in class. All right, this is day 3, and in this class, we're going to be looking at data validation and conditional formatting. So those two concepts, they are very important when it comes to data analysis. And within the next 4 minutes to 5 minutes, I'm going to be doing justice to those two concepts. And I want to appeal to you, if in case you need this data set that we're working with, you see this data set in the description box, so you can also make do of this data set for your personal practice. So conditional formatting, we start with that. Now, what does conditional formatting, what does it entail? For example, I have a sales data right before me, and what I want to do is I want to try and bring in what we call conditional formatting in data analysis. And I might not be able to explain in detail, but let me just give you like an overview of what conditional formatting is all about. I want a situation whereby just by citing alone, I can actually visualize my data, maybe by the use of color or something, or by the use of a scale. For example, this quantity, I want to use color formatting to be able to identify which one is more and which one is the least. So let's just get started. So if you are under this home tab before, definitely you will not need to navigate elsewhere because your conditional formatting is just right here. So it doesn't really matter the version of Excel that you are using, but right under your home tab, you see conditional formatting. So all you need to do is just click this drop down, and we have several categories. So you can, we have the data bar, we have the color scale. So I'm going to start with this data bar. Now, if I want to reformat this sales amount such that it will show like a color scale. With the color scale, I can be able to tell which one is larger and which one is smaller. So all I need to do is just to select that range. So let me select that range, then go ahead and click on conditional formatting. Then I can go to maybe data bar. If I want data bar, if I want color scale, it's also fine. But in this case, let me use data bar first. Then I can choose any of the gradient field that is suitable, the one I prefer. So let me just go with this. Now the idea is that if you look at this, just by visualizing alone with these bars, I can easily tell which one is larger, which one is smaller. You can see that 492 is greater than 343, and so the bar is more than that. So you can also play around this conditional formatting whichever way you want it, so depending on what you are willing to achieve. And there are other things that we can do from there. If I want to format this month column, for instance, I can also go ahead and format based on conditions. So I'll just select this column that I want to format, then click this drop down, then I'll go to highlight cell rules, then I can make use of text that contains. So if I want January to show as a particular color, so I will just say January, for example, or let me say January. So I want January to show as a particular color. So if I want this particular color, then I'm good to go. But if not, I can click this drop down and change this. And if the color I want is not here, I can simply go to custom format, then click on fill and choose whichever color I prefer. Then I'll be good to go. So I can also go ahead and format the other entries that we have accordingly. So because of time, I won't be able to dive deeper into what conditional formatting is all about. We have more things that we can do with conditional formatting. I can tell you that there are a whole lot of things you can do with this conditional formatting than what we just done. So very quickly, we look at data validation and how data validation will help us. Now, if you are working on a live sheet, for example, let's say you are working on Google Sheets, there might be need for you to use this data validation because several people will be collaborating on that data. So I don't want anybody to make a mess of your data. So data validation has to do with installing some security measures in your sheet. That's one thing you can do with data validation. Another thing is you can use it to create a very interactive template that is easy for anybody to navigate. So let's get started. Data validation. So if you want to access data validation, just go to under data, then you see data validation. But before then, what I want to do is I want to create a drop down list. I might want to create a template and I don't want people to be typing. I just wanted to select from a drop down. So all I need to do is use data validation to achieve that. So what I want to do now is I want a column where they don't have to type the month. It's actually a month formatted column, but I want them to just select January, like those forms that I normally see. So select February at will and what have you. So what do I do? First, let me select all of this. Then I'll copy it and take it to another column. Let me put it just here. Control V. All right. So now I want to remove duplicate. So I'll just select this column under data tab, then click on remove duplicate. So remove duplicate for this particular column. So select all. All right. Then OK. So automatically it will remove duplicate. So now I have practically January to December. So if I want to create a drop down list, maybe as they are filling, the Excel sheet individually, I want them to select a drop down. So all I need to do is just I can select the column if I want to, and I'll go to data validation. All right. So once I click on data validation, this drop down, then I can click on data validation as well. Then um you can once you click on this drop down, you see a whole lot of options that you can select, but in this case I'm interested in list. So I'll just select list, then ignore every other thing that you have, then leave it the same way it is. Then I'll go down to source. So the source is talking about where do I want to pick my range from, and this is the range I want, so I'll just highlight that range. So once I'm done, I'll click OK. So automatically if I click this drop down, anybody can select whatever they want to select from there. So if I want to enter January or September, I don't need to type all of those things in. Automatically they will be selected. Of course, there are a whole lot of things that we can do with data validation. Because of time, I won't be able to dive deeper into other things that we can do with data validation. We can protect the sheet, we can protect the workbook such that no unreasonable alteration will be made to your sheet. But for now, this will be all for now. So if you want us to dive deeper into all of these concepts, you can actually reach out to us and we'll be glad to assist you at will. Thank you very much, and I will see you in the next lesson.